you guys want to see something that I'm like really loving right now? Oh my goodness, what is that? What's up everyone, I'm back at it today and we're going to be working on Jake's 2006 Subaru STI Subawho. This car has been chilling for a minute and we've been kind of waiting on some things to clear up. I'll give you a quick little breakdown. This is a 2006 Subaru STI. This is a IAG stage 2.5 short block. These are built B25 heads. These have cams, these have springs, these have everything. Valves, it's a fully built set of heads. And then this car is also running a set of ID 2000 injectors. So that's the big points of this. We had this Garrett turbo on here we were going to be running, and it's actually not going to be the turbo setup we are going to stick with. We're going to be going probably today and going and picking up our new turbo. The turbo we are going to be picking up for this is something that is significantly larger. We are going to be going with a Precision 6266 on this car, so we will be pushing some steam through this motor. The big things that we have to do here, we obviously have the one side of the intercooler piping all pie cut out and made. This was all made in shop here, and we there's a video up on it. I'll throw a link down in the description. You guys can check out the last videos. There's a lot of things we need to do. There's not just a few for sure. So big ones being, we need to go ahead and yank that turbo off of there, and we are going to have to finish doing the intercooler piping for the hot side of the turbo. So big things that are going to happen here is figuring out the routing in which we're going to go ahead and route our intercooler piping. You have 7 days from today to get entered to win one of these awesome prizes we have here. You guys can win any of these things for absolutely free. All you have to do is smash the link below and get entered to win. There's no purchase required. We have our Force Performance FP Green Turbo. This is the big one, guys. You guys could go make some horsepower this summer. Our great friends over at Company 23 went ahead and sent us some goodies. This is one that I don't even own myself, and I can tell you right now, after seeing it, I'm gonna have to pick one up. This is for taking off your flywheel. You'll go ahead and bolt this in place in the back of the motor, and this locks into the teeth on the flywheel, and you can remove your flywheel. This really awesome crank pulley tool. This is a great tool because this is universal for pretty much every Subaru out there. You'll be able to take your crank pulley off. You guys have 7 days left to win, and if you guys get hyped about this, I will go ahead and start adding some more things in this last week. Alright guys, so we went ahead and picked up the turbo for this build yesterday. This turbo came from a good friend of mine. This came off of his built Civic, actually. This is a great turbo size for this car. Should make some great horsepower, especially compared to the Garrett GT 3076 that was on there. That was kind of a small turbo for the build that we kind of figured out be afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and take this thing, start working on putting it on the car. So the big thing about this is this could drastically change the whole entire direction of everything with the build. The big reason I say that is because now we have to figure out exactly more or less where the location of the turbo will be, because this turbo, it doesn't probably look like it, but it's significantly bigger than the Garrett. Give me 1 second, I'll show you guys. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, you can see how big the one is over here compared to the Garrett over here. And it doesn't look like it that much from where your guys' view until you look at the exhaust housings. And the exhaust housing on this Garrett is tiny compared to the exhaust housing on the Precision. Oh my god. Doesn't even seem like it should be that heavy, but it totally is. That Precision is like massive compared to the Garrett. This is going to be fun, guys. Alright, so the plan here is that we have to make this turbo, the piping, we're going to come under the intake manifold, and we're going to pop up, and basically we're going to come out and over to here, to the edge of the engine bay. So I'm hoping that we could have it, more or less right in here, because then I can transition to 3-inch pipe and, keep it going the direction we want. We're gonna start working on fitting this stuff out in here, and we'll kind of just see what direction that leads us. Yeah, I most definitely kind of forgot that basically I'm going to have to polish this compressor housing before I do anything, because if I have that pipe on there and I have to polish this compressor housing, it's going to make my life a lot more difficult to polish all those parts, because I'll be having a turbo housing on them. Dude, I'm freaking pumped. I just used a DA and started with 40, went to 80, went to 180, and no, it is not polished at all. There's still a ton of areas that look like dog shit, but I can go put this on the polishing wheel now and go to town on it, and it'll be pretty freaking close when it's done to being, you know, good to go. I'll obviously come back and go through some areas with some sandpaper afterwards, but that's what's beautiful about this, is I don't need it to be perfect right now. I need it to be good enough, so afterwards all I have to do is touch-ups and, you know, get in the hard areas, and, you know, I can weld it up sooner than later. So I'm going to go over here, pop on the polishing wheel, and start polishing this sucker up. I'll show you guys this thing when I get it done, and then we'll talk about how we're going to weld this thing up. Alright guys, so I went ahead, polished this sucker up. It is very obviously, and if you guys can't see this in the video, it is not done. But what the whole purpose of going through and hitting it with the polisher first is then we know exactly what areas we're going to polish out and what areas weren't. So now we know we have to come back in and go through all these little cracks and go through the center of the turbo with sandpaper and get this just dialed that way, which is all by hand obviously, and then I'll have to take a Dremel and get in there with a little polishing wheel and polish this all up, which it's a real pain in the ass. It's a really big job to do this, but I will tell you, I've put 2 hours into this at this point. The last time I did this, it took me like 2 days to get the whole turbo done. So definitely learned some stuff on the first go around. After I get back from lunch, I'm going to go ahead and finish polishing this up near perfect. Then we'll weld the pipe on here, and we'll be able to start working on getting our pie cuts out of the engine bay. So now I went back and I sanded everything again so I could see all my low spots, see the spots I couldn't get with the polisher, all of that, and now everything is really nice and flat. You know, this is should look really good. So I'm gonna go put this thing on the wheel, try not to break my fingers off, and should have a mirror pretty quick here. So we went ahead and polished her up again. Now she looks freaking sweet, and basically from this point it is going to be good enough for now. We got her all tacked up in place now, polished up, tacked up, and you know, I can't polish everything perfectly right now, like I said, because I'm still welding, but looking pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So we're gonna go bolt this up to the rest of the turbo, put it on the car, and get a good idea on, you know, what our clearances are going to be. And the big thing is why I want to do this now is because I still have to fully locate the up pipe so that you know, everything clears, and right now it has a flex joint in it, so I have a few inches of play there. So I want to get this in place now while it's tacked up and make sure that the up pipe is going to be in a happy position where this isn't going to be clanking on the motor, and then also we are not going to be shipping up our powder coat. So here she is, everything's on here, looks pretty good. The big thing is I will end up, when I make my mount, I will end up just moving the turbo forward just a little bit, and that's just going to give us a little bit more clearance in between the intake manifold and that power steering pump. Looks pretty freaking mint in my opinion, so that means that we're going to jump to stainless now. So I have about 357 million pie cuts to cut now, so I'll see you guys this afternoon. So what do you guys think so far? Here's what we got going on here. She's starting to come together, and this is pretty much what we've always wanted it to look like. We were going for a pretty artistic looking piping here. So this pipe we're hoping to have kind of wrap all the way around and then start our lobster tails and go back this way. And then our intercooler piping will actually come right out the side of the engine bay over here. So basically, I just need to get this to a point where now it'll start to drop down from here and, you know, start big swoopy curve going into here. Don't want to go too crazy with it and make it so it seems extra, but at the same time, this is something that we want to look really good. You know, I'll kind of show you guys in a minute here once I get some more of these things laid out. So we got some progress done yesterday, and we kind of have a little game plan going forward now. We've been trying to figure out how we were going to exit the engine bay, and we've kind of got that dialed now, and have a plan to execute. So here is our piping now. Basically, we're just going to be coming out right here, and I'm going to just remove a small amount of material here just so we can have a nice clean exit, and then there will be another Vangeon clamp here that we'll meet up with, and that'll give us a nice exit, and then we can go on the inside of the fender and do the rest of the piping. Definitely a ton of work, but the big thing about that is it's going to look really killer when it's done. At some point today, I'm gonna have to clear off the plasma table and throw some aluminum up there, and we're gonna have to cut out a nice plate for that over there for making the, you know, clamp on the edge of the engine bay, something that's gonna look, you know, finished, look nice. So I'm gonna go jump on my laptop and work on getting that plate measured up and, you know, kind of get a game plan together for that. Here's more or less the finished product we're going to be looking at. I'm going to go through and remove some material over here, obviously to clear our nice hole here. And then I'm also going to go, and if you guys can see down here, I'm also going to go and on this nice little hole we have here, I'm going to mark that out and put a riv nut in there so we can actually bolt this in place. But as you can see, I made a nice little inset here for where our harness pokes through for our ABS module here, but looks pretty good, and we'll be able to actually have a Vangeon clamp right here that'll come over to our piping. You guys want to see something that I'm like really loving right now? I'm like really proud of it. Should you guys check this? Oh my goodness, what is that? So what do you guys think of this? This is now starting to get a lot closer to being done. We have the hot side piping done. We are waiting on one 90-degree vibrant tight radius bend that's going to be coming in that we will finish up the section from there to the intercooler down below. What do you guys think about this? Got everything all welded up. Got everything clearanced so we have some room. Looks pretty sweet, guys. So that took a ton of work, way more time into that than I would have ever anticipated for sure. But I mean, at the same time, I also knew how long it took me to do the other side, so it wasn't anything crazy. To do that one section of pipe there, we went through 2.5 bottles, 2.5 125s of pure argon TIG welding and back purging that. So just to give you guys an idea on how much welding there actually is to do that small of run of pipe. I am going to wrap this video up, guys. I can't thank you guys enough for watching. I know that kind of got sped up there at the end, but mainly because I wanted you guys to see it kind of wrapped up here. Appreciate you guys watching. Stick around. Make sure you get entered to win that FP Green Turbo, because giveaway ends in just a few days here. And there is not that many people entered to win, so go get entered to win. The link's in the description, and thanks again for watching, guys. Stick around because this car is going to be coming to life very soon.